In this section, we are going to discuss RBTs assisting with functional assessment procedures. RBTs can help with assisting with assessments that behavior analysts must conduct with clients. A functional behavior assessment, also known as an FBA, is a common assessment that behavior analysts conduct to observe and create a hypothesis as to what may be the function of the client's target behavior. The behavior analyst is the primary assessor, and the RBT may help assist them in the process of conducting the FBA. The RBT might have more instructional control or rapport with the client, so it may help the behavior analyst conduct the assessment easier. Now, you may ask yourself, why is it necessary to conduct an FBA? Functional behavior assessments are conducted to assess the client on target behaviors and to obtain information about the function of a challenging behavior the client serves. There are different components to the FBA process, such as indirect assessments. Indirect assessments are interviews that you may have with caregivers or staff that work with the client. Some other indirect assessments that you may see are called the FAST, the MAS, the QABF, or etc. These are different indirect assessments used to obtain more information about the client. When we say indirect, this based off other people's outlook on the client and what they think versus directly observing the client engaged in their everyday routine and target behaviors. For direct assessments, we are simply observing the client record ABC data. Do you remember what ABC stands for? If you said antecedent behavior and consequence, then you're correct. When taking direct observations, we are recording what we observe the client doing so the behavior analyst can analyze the different antecedents, behaviors, and consequences. Operational definitions are created by the behavior analyst. Let's talk about indirect measures. Indirect measures include interviews and checklists. Checklists involve Likert scales, which involve asking about antecedents and consequences of the target behaviors. Interviews usually are conducted with clients or significant others, such as family or staff that work directly with the client that know the client well. When you are interviewing clients, never ask why questions. Always ask what and when and where questions. Identify primary concerns. You can also provide the client with questionnaires or have the client self-record themselves. Sometimes you may not be able or need to interview the client because some information that you're seeking may come from caregivers or teachers that work with the client. Direct measures focuses on tests and observations. Observations are also known as direct observations, where you are simply observing the client's behaviors. This is a preferred method used to identify potential target behaviors of the client. You can record direct observations using ABC data, which shows a descriptive sequence of the client's behavior patterns. You should always try to do at least 20 to 30 minutes of direct observations. Lastly, we're going to go over operational definitions. These definitions of target behaviors should be objective, clear, and complete. It is important to make sure to review the operational definitions of each behavior because you need to know what you're looking for during your observations. You want to be accurate with your data and being cognizant of recording the correct target behaviors. Operational definitions are specific so that staff and caregivers can apply the appropriate interventions that are listed in the behavior plan. Some behaviors can look like a target behavior, but may not be considered that target behavior based off the operational definition. Here are some examples of operational definitions of target behaviors. For kicking, we have any instance in which the client uses their feet or legs to make contact with another person or object. Aggression, any instance in which the client uses their hands with an open or closed fist and makes contact with another person in a forceful manner. Or property destruction, any instance in which the client throws or swipes objects with.